Hey, welcome back to the story series. I think this is part 4. I took a little lazy hiatus. I just was lazy. I didn't want to record anything. We take Sundays and Mondays off, so that's had a lot to do with it. Today's Wednesday, and I'm just going to take a quick walk around this block while I have some downtime. And I think the last thing we were talking about was how I got my bread and how I got my ingredients. So I guess the next step for our growth was branching out from the game store. So I got in contact with a couple local farmers markets, and we started doing those events I think once a week on a Saturday. And honestly, I didn't know how good we were gonna do. We sold out the first day, which is fantastic for us. I came prepared for like maybe 50 people. So we showed up at around 11 and ended up selling out around 12:30. So hour and a half, 50 people, that was pretty good. I guess it did help that we were the only food there, but that's besides the point. Well, then the following weeks, we brought more ingredients and kind of made our name for ourselves at those markets. The only issue we saw was that one of them was in Lehigh, and that was kind of far from where we actually live and where we wanted to do business. But I knew that was just, another step in the process so that we could, accumulate enough funds to get more equipment and more gear for the summer market that was coming up. We signed up for the Provo Farmers Market. That's the city that I'm currently walking around in. And once we signed up for that, we didn't know what to expect. I came prepared for 100 people the first day, and yeah, it went really well. A lot of people enjoyed our food. I think opening day there was about 10,000 people that showed up. You also have to remember this is post-COVID, so I think this was the first summer where everybody was like, we're okay to go outside. And they did. And it was good for everybody. It was good for a lot of the local vendors, a lot of other small business owners. We ended up doing fantastic. And the first 3 weeks was just me and my wife. And what a mistake that was. We definitely needed help. So we got one of our best friends, Joey, to come help. And then later we ended up picking up my nephew and a few other friends that dropped by to help, Patrick and I think even Spencer. So that was a good time. And that was a good learning experience to see how what I had set up would work and how it would function. Maintaining quality of ingredients, maintaining my orders and shipments of things and all the prep that needed to go into it. So that was kind of fantastic. And that's a really good way for a lot of you guys to get started. If you really don't know if your product is good enough, find out at your local, I don't know where you would find it, honestly. I found it on Facebook, a couple Facebook groups. I ended up just Googling if my city did a market, and it did. So I got in contact with those guys. Sometimes it's hard to get a hold of your local event organizers, mostly because their emails are like hard to find. But if you can find those, definitely worth it. I mean, most markets that are small and local will charge you $30-$40, every time you go. But if you're going for a whole season, they usually, give you a little bit of a discount. So I would definitely recommend starting your journey out at a market if you don't have a place outside of that. There is a little bit of footwork you have to do yourself. You have to fill out a couple documents, personal information, and you also have to, depending on what you're selling, if you're just selling like crafts and art and stuff like that, there's nothing really that you have to fill out other than a small like business application. But if you're doing food, you got to get a temp food license, you got to get a commissary, and yeah, there's a lot of little things that I did not know about that were gonna, you know, one, cost money, and two, they were gonna take time. You can't just show up and get a permit that day. So that's something to plan ahead with. But it was definitely an eye-opener with all the proceeds that we got from that. Ended up getting us a food truck. Something that I've always wanted ever since we started this journey. So yeah, that's part 4. Part 5 coming soon. I think that's what I'll just do now when I have some downtime, just walk around this building or choose a different block. Well, thanks for coming by.